Hey, good evening. I am with the Monsanto Corporation. And now there's this farm family here, and I'm trying to help them. I am trying to get them to buy my chemicals and applications because this is the modern way of farming. Uh, the use of pesticides and herbicides, insecticides, and nitrogen additives, and genetically modified crops. This is the farming of the future, and it's going to help farmers. But there's this pesky little girl named Sally that keeps asking me difficult questions and getting in my way. And yeah, so I don't know. She disappeared into the field, and I think she may have found a special package. Well, let's see what happens to her. Goodbye, and remember, Monsanto is here to protect you. What just happened? Look at me. Did everything get big or did I get small? I just ate a cake that someone named Lumberkiss had left for me, and now I think that I've gotten very small. Things are getting more and more curious. Oh, well, look at that robin. It's bigger than me. When my mom tells me something, sometimes I ask her, well, how did you know that? And my mom says, a little bird told me. Well, I wish that robin would tell me something. Hey, what do you want to know? Oh, I'm not used to talking to robins. We're not used to listening to you either. Well, you see, the thing is, there's this man trying to sell my family all these chemicals, herbicides and insecticides and GMO crops. And he says it's going to help farming, but my mom keeps saying they're so expensive, we can't afford them and we might not be able to farm anymore. Okay, can you tell me what to do? Well, I can tell you what not to do. Well, what do you mean? I heard from my great-great-grandfather Robin long ago that these fields were filled with very green, fertile, verdant, and full of trees, plants, and life. Well, what happened? Well, people destroyed the forest. They made these big fields to grow food for themselves. Well, people need to eat too. Yes, that is true. But with all the trees cut down, it leaves the soil very bare and sad. Many of my animal friends were left homeless. Well, I still see plenty of trees around here. Maybe not so many. I tell you what, if you want to go fly with me, I could show you what's happened to the forest. Well, I can't fly with you. Why not? Because I don't have any wings. That's too bad for you, girl. But I'll tell you what we can do. You can get on my back and I can fly you around. What? My name is Sarah. You can really do that? How could you do that? We'll use some of this, my robin power, and we'll take you around and show you what it looks like from the air. Really? When will we do Sarah. Okay. Yes. All right, off we go. Just fantastic. There used to be so many different kinds of trees, buildings, and all kinds of plants, animals. And now when you look at the field, you only see one kind of plant. Well, that's because my mom and dad grow corn in those fields, just like our neighbors. We plant the fields with nothing but corn. It's called monocropping. What's it? That's a fancy word. I can hardly even say it. All that I know is it's terrible. I know, but I'm trying to find the best way to farm. Oh, you should talk to Lumbericus. Lumbericus knows everything. Lumbericus, that was the name on that magic paper that made me no bigger than a robin. Where is Lumbericus? Oh, I'll tell you. Listen to me, Sarah. When the red robin goes bobbing along with a big question, she'll be the one to sing a sweet song. Wake up, you silly girl, get out, go out and find the world right there. Right there below your feet, you'll find all the answers. Come on, Sarah. You're walking through fields of flowers, the rain-made glisten, and you should listen for hours and hours. You'll find Lumbericus when you find him swinging his sweet song. And the red robin goes bobbing along. I've got to get bobbing along. Here I go! Woo! Wait, Robin, come back! You didn't tell me how to find Lumbericus. Wait, Robin! Oh, dear. Oh, wow. I never realized that the way my family farms could hurt other animals. I need to find this Lumbericus and ask him what is the best way to farm. Oh, oh.
Word up! Help me out here. Eating fat flies in the golden sun. Life in the pond be really fine. You can't touch what I got, son. Got water and cattails. It's all mine. Woohoo!
Who is that singing that silly song?
Who's that asking them silly questions?
Oh, my name is Sarah.
I'm Frog. Pleased to meet you, Sarah.
Why were you singing that song?
I sing that song 'cause I loves my pond. You know, good ponds are hard to find.
Why is that?
Well, you see them farmers out there with all their farm fields, they spray all those insecticides and herbicides, and they put that added nitrogen too much, and then what do you think? When it rains, it runs off and runs into streams and rivers and into my pond, and it kills a lot of the things that live in the pond.
Oh, that's terrible. You know, there's this man from Monsanto that's trying to sell my family those very same things. You know, herbicides and insecticides and added nitrogen, and it's expensive. My mom says we may not be able to farm if we have to spend all that money on it.
Well, now you know how us frogs feels.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
You know what? I talked to Robin, and she said that the one who knows the best way to farm is Lumberkiss. Do you know where I can find Lumberkiss?
Well, everybody knows Lumberkiss.
Everyone except me.
Well, you won't find Lumberkiss around here. He lives in the soil, not in water.
But there's a lot of soil out there. Where do I start looking?
Lumberkiss always shows up when you need him. Just keep looking, Sarah. You'll find him. Eating fat flies in the golden sun. Life in the pond be really fine. You can't touch what I got, son. Water and cattails, it's all mine. Woohoo! Splash!
Well, Frog, wait! You didn't tell me how to find Lumberkiss. Frog! Well, he was no help. I've looked all over for this Lumberkiss, but I just cannot find him. How do you find someone when you don't even know where to look or what to look for? Well, there's that forest over there. It looks kind of dark. I haven't looked there. Maybe I'll go look there. Wow, it's awfully dark in the forest. It seems like a strange place to find someone who's supposed to be so smart. Wow, this is really dark in this forest. I have to find this Lumberkiss, if he really even exists. You know, this place kind of gives me the creeps. It's so dark in here. It almost feels like...
Feels like what?
What? Feels like someone is watching me.
No, do not worry. I mean you no harm. I'm wondering, why are you here?
I'm looking for someone.
You have found someone, it seems, hmm?
Yeah, right.
Why are you looking?
I need someone who's very smart. One of the smartest people around.
Oh, smart is often more than just brains, hmm?
Okay.
What is your name?
I'm Sarah.
Oh, Sarah, have you any food?
No, I'm sorry, I didn't bring any. What do you like to eat?
Oh, I like to eat old leaves, rotten mushrooms, yum.
Oh, rotten mushrooms? That's disgusting. Yuck!
Different creatures eat different things. Something for everyone is good.
Well, listen, friend, I gotta go. I'm on a quest and I need to keep looking.
Oh, you're looking, are you? Let's play hide and seek. I go first. Woo!
No.
Hey, come on and try to find me, Sarah.
is real smart and knows the best way to farm.
Oh, the best way to farm. Lumbricus, you see, yes?
Lumbricus, you know him?
Oh, yes, I know him. We all know Lumbricus. Come, I take you to him. Follow me.
Are you sure you know Lumbricus?
Yes, come, I show him to you. Follow me.
Well, I guess I have nothing to lose.
Come.
Are you sure this is the way to Lumbricus?
Yes, I am sure. Patience.
Can't you move any faster?
Patience. Who you seek, you will find very soon.
This is just a waste of time. I don't know why I'm here with you. I'm getting nowhere fast, and I need to find this Lumbricus.
The girl has no patience. I cannot teach her.
Oh, wait a minute. Teach me what?
What you need to know, I can show.
Oh, what are you talking about?
You must look at the earth in a new way. It is not a thing. It is alive.
Oh, what are you talking about? I need to talk to Lumbricus.
You have found him, you have.
I don't see him.
Oh, he is right here.
Wait a minute. You are Lumbricus? How can Lumbricus be an earthworm?
What you want to know, I can show you. You must be patient, though.
What do you need to show me?
I can show you that the soil is not a thing. It is alive. It is good. It is filled with life.
What kind of things?
Not bad things, good things. Oh, all kinds of things. Fungi, bacteria, nematodes, millipedes, centipedes. Oh, fungi and protozoa. All sorts of good things. All those live in the soil. Yes, they help to make the soil good and healthy. And when farmers put those chemicals and nitrogen, it kills all that life.
Oh, I would like to see that.
With me, I will show.
You can take me down into the soil?
Yes, you must follow me, Sarah. Come on.
How can I follow you into the soil?
Grab on to my end and let's go.
What? Oh, okay.
Here we go. Whoa!
All living things need something to eat. Worms make holes for air and food. Need their casing for soil. That's good. Bacteria get plants are sweet. Decomposing matter is their favorite treat. Did you know bacteria need food? Makes nitrogen for plants happy food. Nitrogen makes plants very happy. Now you might not think much about fungus, but down in the soil there are many among them. The food for a nematode, a hungry flatworm. Looking at that, it makes me squirm. Fungus makes food to feed roots hair. Will it eat me? Fungus breaks it down to feed the soil. Are these creatures every day they toil? It's all these creatures every day they toil for the symphony of life. Do you hear it, Sarah? Listen, do you hear it? Yes, Sarah. The soil is not in the alive! Alive! Where it is! Do you see the magic beneath your feet? Come along now, I have friends you can
Yes, Sarah. You must remember, the soil is full of life. That is the key to good farming. Well, I can't believe you're showing children this propaganda. Monsanto knows better. Monsanto knows we have all the chemicals needed for modern farming. And all I have to say is thank you for watching the show. And now we will continue with our program, Healthy Parks. Bye bye.
Thank you very much, Blaque Berry Puppets. Thank you for this, the secret of the soil. And next we'll have Rika from the national nonprofit Beyond Pesticides.
Hey, good evening. First of all, thank you to Stop the Spray St. Louis Coalition and all the organizers of tonight's event. My name is Rika Gopinath, and I work for, as Susan said, the national nonprofit Beyond Pesticides. And we work with communities all over the country and sometimes internationally too, with interested people who want to understand not just how pesticides, including weed killers and insecticides. And by the way, that puppet show was great because it really covered a lot of these concepts. But working with people who want to understand the risks not from pesticides and safer alternatives. Beyond Pesticides started over 40 years ago. And our executive director, Jay Feldman, was part of many decades of work by multiple people and organizations that helped create the organic food certification standards. And Jay served on the National Organic Standards Board, which oversees a pretty rigorous process that is unique in regulatory practice for 5 years under the Obama administration. One of the things that I work on with Beyond Pesticides, and this includes in St. Louis, is working with cities and city staff to understand where and why there's pesticide use in the public spaces like parks and city properties, and where there might be safer alternatives. And so we really work with technical consultants and experts, some of whom serve on our board, Chip Osborne and Osborne Organics. And sometimes we work formally in projects that we can offer with donor sponsorship, like from Natural Grocers, where we can work with a city for 2 years and pick 2 or 3 demonstration sites, either parts of parks or at natural grass athletic playing fields, and experientially, work with city staff to understand the soil science of how do you eliminate, not just shift away or reduce or use something less toxic. We're talking at Beyond Pesticides about a paradigm shift of land care, both in agriculture, but especially in what I focus on in communities and municipal use. I'm a little all over the place without slides, which normally keeps me organized, but let me just finish that thought with calling out formally what that program is with Beyond Pesticides. We call it Parks for a Sustainable Future, or for shorthand, Sustainable Parks Program. And what it offers a city like St. Louis is the opportunity to work together in collaboration for 2, sometimes 3 years. And we bring to the table at no cost to the city science-based, site-specific transition plans for these demonstration sites. And then we give through remote training and lots of meetings over Zoom and field walks with, thank goodness for iPhones now and all the not specifically iPhones, but just the technology that allows our experts and myself to take a walk with staff without having to pay the expense or the climate impact of traveling there in person. So we work experientially. We give staff a plan week by week, month by month that tells them what to do instead of synthetic pesticides and fertilizers. And the best part about our Sustainable Parks program is we roughly take the existing labor and cost that's being invested in those demonstration sites, and we just reallocate it. That's where the expertise of our technical consultants really matters, because we don't necessarily, I mean, if we had unlimited funds, or the city did, right, we could say, here's how you could transition it immediately to organic land care and have phenomenal results. But instead, we work within the constraints the city has. And the most important part is getting the buy-in from both city administrators and leaders and people elected who control budgets and direction of policy, but also the staff themselves. And it's not that they aren't experts. They are. All over the country, we work with park staff who are doing the best with the resources they have. But frankly, this new science, and it's new and yet it's ancient, right? Indigenous cultures know this. But the new soil science of the fact that there's this incredible microbial life underneath our feet, especially when you're talking about one of the hardest things to manage in a park system, which is natural grass playing fields and athletic fields, where, you know, youth sports can really give those natural grass fields a workout. And when they're not managed well, or if they don't have enough drainage or irrigation, like sometimes there's some structural things that need to be tweaked. But if they are managed with synthetic chemicals, trying to make up for the resilience of what nature can do, natural grass fields sometimes don't perform well. And unfortunately, what we're seeing all over the country, and not so much in St. Louis, which is good, is this idea that natural grass always fails, therefore plastic grass must be the answer. And we can strongly tell you that artificial turf is not a good solution, both for environmental and other reasons. Was that a time check on
Yep, 5 minutes.
how many? Sorry?
5 minutes, 5 more
Okay.
minutes to go.
Great. Okay. So, the most important thing I wanted to be able to bring to you tonight is, first of all, thanks to amazing advocates within the St. Louis community who have done an extraordinary job over a long period of time, many years, working with staff and helping educate both city staff and residents about safer alternatives and what's possible. And the good news is, over 150 cities and universities and school systems that we have directly worked with have made the choice and the decision to move away from synthetic pesticides, or those conventional herbicide pesticides, in a number of settings, both inside school buildings and out in playing fields, out in parks, in actively used park playgrounds and grass turf, but also in natural grass athletic fields. I also want to really call out the coalition, because thanks to their advocacy over many years, without a change in policy necessarily, are a wonderful staff person with the parks. I don't want to get her title wrong, but Kim Hagel worked with us and the group to stop the use of pesticides immediately in playgrounds, especially older playgrounds that had mulch and swing sets. And when we asked the question, where is pesticide being used? Interestingly, it wasn't on natural grass turf so much as it was underneath playground swing sets. So she helped stop that and worked with her staff to find alternatives. And over time, they're changing out these older playgrounds and getting rid of the natural surface underneath. But we're very happy to say there is no more pesticide use within the playground settings across the park system in St. Louis. I want to leave plenty of time for questions, but I will say two more things. One is that it is being done in many cities and communities across the country. Come to the Beyond Pesticides website, and we've got a really cool interactive map. The second thing is we have lots of resources on our web pages, especially if you want to look up a pesticide, either by its product name or its active ingredient, and see in a click all of the scientific studies that show the health, environmental, aquatic risks that come from exposure to those pesticides. You can also do the flip side, which is the pesticide-induced database, and look up symptoms or diseases and see what in the scientific literature is associated with pesticide exposure. Many of you have heard probably about golf courses and a higher risk for people who live especially within 1 mile of golf courses, and the Parkinson's disease. The last quick topic I want to touch upon, and I know one of our other speakers is going to talk about this too, is some important things that are happening and threaten to be happening legislatively with Bayer Monsanto and a liability shield for those chemical and pesticide companies. I'm not going to touch upon that, but Beyond Pesticides is leading a national coalition working to stop that, both at state level and national level. So come to our website and look for a page called Failure to Warn, which is sort of the legal standing that Monsanto Bayer have been losing on for billions of dollars in some judgments because they have failed to warn users of Roundup that it can cause non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. I'll let the other speaker touch on that, but the thing related to that I wanted to end with is called preemption. In almost all US states, except for I think 6, there is a state law that was passed that says states and local government are not allowed to restrict pesticide use or regulate pesticide use more strictly than what the federal government does, which is a whole other debate in and of itself. But what I want to point out, because Missouri is in this situation, as is my own state where I live, California, it does not prevent cities from making the choice to regulate and pass policy on their own use of pesticides on city grounds and public places like parks. And that, of course, is what one of our other speakers will be touching upon with the HOPS bill, which Beyond Pesticides fully supports. And we would point to places like New York City that has passed an even more robust version. And then, of course, how do you get there once you pass a law or policy like that? That is where Beyond Pesticides is working with New York City Parks Department and doing pilot projects in all 5 boroughs to help the staff figure out both how to technically move away from and eliminate synthetic pesticides and fertilizers, but also figure out the budgetary ramifications of doing it across the entire system. So we would urge and are here to work with the advocates and the city to figure out how they too can make the choice to stop using synthetic pesticides on public properties and parks.
Rika, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the 10 minutes. Perfect. Please, I hope you can stick around for questions. You made a lot of great points. Also, too, I'm tracking the comments in the chat. So who's going to speak next is Barb Shapiro. She's the Green Party of St. Louis. She's going to talk to us about the HOPS bill.
Yeah, I'm actually going to give kind of a report on what's been going on with the St. Louis No Spray Coalition, of which I'm a member. So I have 5 minutes, so here I go. The St. Louis No Spray Coalition is comprised of groups and individuals with a shared vision of reducing or eliminating the use of pesticides in parks and public spaces. So I'm going to talk.
Could you grab a microphone, please?
Oh.
Excellent. Thank you, Barb.
There's a lot of technology going on here. Is that working? Can you hear me
Yes.
now?
Perfect. Yes.
Okay. Should I start over? Or?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to start over. Hold it up close. Oh, there it is. Yay. Okay, I'm Barb Chicario. I'm a member of the St. Louis No Spray Coalition. And the coalition is comprised of groups and individuals that have the shared vision of reducing or eliminating the use of pesticides in parks and public spaces. So I'm going to talk a little bit about our successes. We've kind of touched on some of it, but I'm going to go over it again. This is really significant. During the 2025 school year election, No Spray members, along with Green Party folks, interviewed potential candidates for endorsement. And the question, the very important question that we asked all of them was, had to do with use of pesticides on school grounds and if they supported not using pesticides on school playgrounds. We endorsed 3 candidates, all of whom agreed with this. And one of our 4 endorsed candidates was elected and did in fact bring forth a proposal that the Board of Education stop the purchasing of pesticides for use on school grounds in the St. Louis City schools. The school board adopted this and agreed to remove pesticides from their budget. So they're not going to be purchasing anymore. While we see this as a success, we know we have more work to do to push for policy changes that clearly states that St. Louis Public Schools will not allow pesticides to be used at their facilities. So we felt like that was a really important step forward. Another positive outcome involved the St. Louis City Parks Department, which Rika talked about. So we met with Kim Hagley, who is the director of the Parks Department, and we've had several conversations with her over the past couple of years and communication through email. But at the recent meeting, she informed us, as Rika said, to notify her staff that they are not to use pesticides on playgrounds, and they are mulching underneath the equipment rather than using pesticides for weed control. But I thought this was the most interesting part. She told us that her conversations with us and Rika had created a real shift in her thinking about the use of pesticides. So we view this as a real breakthrough, but understand we need to push for policy changes. Ms. Hagley also informed us that when we are ready to request more data, which we did 2 years ago, we had to do a sunshine request to get data from the city. And it was cumbersome and it took a lot of time. And it just, we actually had to get a lawyer to help write the sunshine request for us before they would even respond. But Ms. Hagley said, don't use sunshine, just request from me and I'll be sure to be good. Which I think is another indication of a real shift in our relationship. And as Rika just said, Ms. Hagley expressed an interest in the Sustainable Parks Program. And so that's something we're continuing to work on with the city. Our longer term goal is the adoption of a bill we have written and called the HOPS bill. HOPS stands for Healthy Outdoor Parks and Public Spaces.
Change mics.
Oh. Okay. Is this better?
Yes.
This is, you want me to start all over?
No. You've got 1 minute to go, 2 minutes to go. No.
Let's see, we learned from the, as Rika said, 140 cities and municipalities are already doing this. So when the first time we got the bill into a committee, the Health and Human Services Committee, but never out. And one of the barriers was not having buy-in from the City Parks Department, where again, I think we're seeing gains with building those relationships so we can work together. So we're going to continue to reach out to city council members and park personnel to bring the bill back to committee and then on to the St. Louis Council for adoption. I've learned much over the past few years and how difficult and tedious change can be, but I've also come to understand that change is a process and the really importance of building relationships. My last takeaway is that the move away from pesticides and turning to organic methods of pest control is gaining momentum. A friend from Texas sent me an article about a Texas pecan orchard where the owner is encouraging bug-eating brown bats to live in the orchard. He's actually putting bat houses up in the orchard. The owner had previously relied on pesticides, but found bats to be more effective, and the health of his orchard has improved since he stopped using chemicals. So my last takeaway is Mother Nature has many of the solutions. We just need to listen. So thank you.
Thanks, Barb. Our next speaker is Carolyn Neiswanger from the Missouri Sierra Club.
Nailed it. Thank you so much. It's kind of hard to pronounce there, so I do appreciate that. And thank you to everyone that's here tonight. Thank you for all your work and all you do for the environment. I'm very honored and very happy to be here. So just start by saying that. I also want to preface that as my first time speaking on any type of panel, and I didn't really have a presentation prepared, so please bear with me as I gather my thoughts and compartmentalize. But yeah, my name is Carolyn Niswonger, she, her pronouns. I'm with the Sierra Club. If you know anything about the Sierra Club, we're the biggest environmental advocacy agency, in America, started by John Muir back in the day. And we do everything under the sun, from environmental issues to social justice to environmental justice. We know that they're intertwined. A lot of things are very interconnected between people and environment, obviously. So that's a little bit about Sierra Club. You may have heard of us before, but we have a lot of outings. We do a lot of things within Missouri here. And I'm a part of the subgroup, which is the Missouri chapter. And I am a field organizer, that's my title, but I do have a legislative focus. So I do have the added benefit of spending lots of quality time with our near and dear House representatives and senators and local officials. Such a fun part of my job. But something I have been working on, I really just was thrown into the wolves. I started with the Sierra Club back in March. I didn't have a lot of time to really understand what was going on, but a little bit about my background. I did work for the Missouri Senate, so I kind of know what's going on. But either way, I was kind of thrown to the wolves, and we had this piece of legislation in front of us outside of SB4, which I'm sure you've heard about before, but that's energy. We'll talk about that one later. But was HB 544. This was the Bear Protection Bill, or what we call it, the Bear Love Letter. That's what we called it at the Sierra Club. Another form of it was SB 14 as well, that's sponsored by Senator Brown, and HB 544 was sponsored by Dane Deal. And to my knowledge, they also sponsored them back in 2024, but I wasn't with the club then. I wasn't actively working against it at that time. But I do know that it did die in 2024, and it died in this legislative session as well. But a little bit about that bill. So it's essentially Bayer's state by state campaign to shield themselves from liability. Enrica did a good job of touching on it in her presentation. Thank you so much for the intro. Yeah, it's about protecting their profits and not people, because they know that they are losing billions of dollars in settlements. I mean, what is it, about 10 billion? They paid out
11 billion.
11 billion now. Thank you so much, Digger. They've paid out in people, and everything suggests that there is a significant time between glyphosate and non-Hodgkin's lymphoma and other forms of cancers. So they're going state by state and saying, hey, how do we stop from paying out billions and billions of dollars to these people? Is change the law. So this law essentially updates Missouri's pesticides registration. So it touches on a few different administrative and procedural things. And on its face, to the layman, the bill looks very boring. I mean, it's not that I want to read. It's 4 pages of just English. But under section 10, I believe it is where it goes into labeling requirements, where it says that if it aligns with the EPA's standards, then it's okay. Then all types of pesticides, as long as it says, if we're aligning with the EPA, as long as our labeling requirements satisfy that, then we're good. Then we can put anything on the market, doesn't matter. Which again, on its face, could sound not bad, because the EPA is here to protect us in the environment, ideally, correct? Not so much with this bill, because the EPA does maintain that glyphosate-containing products are safe to use, despite multitudes of independent resources saying much differently. And outside of all of the litigation and all of the lawsuits that have come from this. Part of my job was to lobby with legislators. I'm kind of the internal lobbyist, I guess is the best way to say it for the Sierra Club. So a lot of my time was spent this spring was talking with legislators about this bill. So it got some good traction in the House. In 2024, I'll start by talking about this bill last year. I know that there was definitely some split votes in the House. They didn't have as much Republican support as it did this year. And this year you saw even more of a split. So it was 85 votes to, 62 votes, I believe, in the House. So kind of slim margins there. And we saw a big split. And a lot of Republicans were pretty pissed about it. And I'll cite there's a Missouri Independent article that goes into a little bit about what the session looked like with this bill specifically. And they were quoting Republicans left and right, saying like, hey, this isn't cool. Bayer shouldn't be lying to these people. They shouldn't be protecting their profits and other people, which we love to see that. There was a lot of alignment there. And it made it over to the Senate. And I was in the committee and I gave testimony along with a few of my, of our other members and my chapter director. And I'm really happy that I was able to actually speak on it a little bit. And we had, you know, the usual suspects as the proponents of it, of course, the Missouri Ag Alliance, the Missouri corn growers, the soybean farmers, CFM, what was it, Farm Bureau as well. I mean, usual suspects, like I said. And we were, in, you know, decent company with allies, but I mean, I'm going up, so I'm one person, I'm going up against, you know, all of these different lobbyists. I've worked in the building for decades and decades, so, I would say that maybe my, Sierra Club's opposition to this wasn't as strong as other allies. Luckily, we were in great company when it comes to, this one particular ally. I'm gonna shout out, MATA, which is Missouri Association of Trial Attorneys. So they were pissed that this bill showed back up. Because I mean, they're trying to take away litigation. They're trying to make money too, right? So, and they don't want, you know, Missourians to get, from the start of pardon my French, but screwed, if they're not able to, you know, hold these chemical giants accountable. Like that's what this bill is trying to stop. So we went through the hearing and everything, and Dane Deal got up and gave a spiel basically saying that, and all the proponents of this bill are saying that, you know, if this bill doesn't pass, like we're gonna pull the product off the shelves. That's not true. There's nothing in that piece of legislation. I read it back and forth. There's nothing in that legislation that says, hey, we're pulling this if this bill doesn't pass. And it's just another one of their tactics to try to get this bill to pass. So we had the hearing and everything, but it died there pretty much. I was looking on the informal calendar, looking at the Senate floor, seeing if there's ever gonna be a time when this is talked about on the floor, but sure wasn't. And I do credit my allies, and I'm sure I'll credit myself a little bit, why not? But I do credit for having such a really, really strong ally in this fight. So shout out to them. It's rare that I say that, but you know, big time shout out to them. So that's kind of what it looks like on a state level. And FB 14 got nowhere. It's just a copy of HB 544. We find that the House version typically finds its way over to the Senate. It did for the last 2 years. And my opinion, it's gonna rear its ugly head once again during session. Pre-filing starts December 1st, so I'll keep a lookout when it gets pre-filed. But all of that information is accessible to the public, so you can check out what bills are pre-filed and everything. Start emailing your legislators right then and there. Why not? So I would say that's our biggest ask, is just reach out to your legislators and say, hey, like, I understand that, you know, proponents of this bill are saying that this is a product that is important to Missouri, and it is. And I'll go into what Sierra Club's specific stance on this is, but you reach out to your legislators, let them know, hey, like, there's a lot of people in Missouri and outside that are being harmed by this type of product. I mean, it's, you know, the fact that the litigation exists suggests that there is a correlation and a causation, right? But let me be very clear. I'm going to use my last few minutes to talk about the Sierra Club Missouri chapter, specifically our stance. So I might deviate a little bit here, but so let me be very clear. Like I said, we are not against pulling this product off the shelves, because we know that it is a fight that we cannot win. It would be impossible to eradicate here in Missouri, just because we are a very significant agricultural state. And like I said, we're going up against the Farm Bureau, the Mo corn growers. I mean, 2/3 of our land is farmland, and that's a significant portion of our land mass. And we understand that that is just not a fight that we can feasibly win. I mean, maybe someday, right? We'll keep hope alive for sure, but there's always a chance of another product coming coming out and being even more effective and even more harmful. So what our call is, we don't necessarily want to pull it off the shelves. That's not the point. We understand it's very important. But what we want is for Bayer to be held accountable and for people to seek legal recourse if they need it. And because chemical giants can't keep harming people and lying about it and telling them that it's safe, and it's really, really not. So that's where we're at. And that's a little bit about the bill, SB 4 and HB 544. Those numbers will change when pre-file happens. But yeah.
Thanks very much,
Thank
Carolyn.
you.
Thank you very much. Good job. First time public panel. Very impressive. I just had a personal comment to make. I was talking to my sister in Turkey, and she's always considered herself to be lactose intolerant and gluten intolerant. Okay, I'm sorry. I was talking to my sister in Turkey and she always considers herself to be lactose intolerant and gluten intolerant. And she's eating all those things in Turkey, of the country, Istanbul. And she says what she is glyphosate intolerant and GMO intolerant. So the food we're eating is not real food.
Right.
So yeah, win that. We're
Yeah.
behind you. Let's see the day. Okay, I'm looking into the chats. Rika's on the line. Yes, for questions and comments. We're gonna allow 2 minutes per comment and 2 minutes per back and forth. I think we have someone to introduce tonight.
I just wanted to go back to what Barbara said about the
Here's the
school
mic.
board. Oh, should I use the mic?
Yes.
Okay. I wanted to go back to what Barbara said about the school board, because it's very important. I mean, the school board decisions about pesticides are at least as important as what the city does, because the children are much more susceptible, especially the smaller the child, the more susceptible the child is to the effects of pesticides. And so what we just had a resignation a few weeks ago from the school board, and that person's going to be replaced by somebody else. And so I just had a good talk this morning with Tavon Brooks, and I hope that Tavon could say a few words about the school board and what he would like to see the school board do regarding pesticides.
Thank you. We turn the camera. We're gonna turn the, Tavon, we're gonna turn the camera for you so you'll be on screen.
Feel like a superstar now.
You are?
Good
Good.
evening, everyone. I'm gonna read what I have because it's short notice. I don't want to get off track. But as always, I like to begin giving recognition to those who came before me and paved the way. My name is Tavon Brooks, and some of you may remember me from earlier in the year when I ran for the school board. So, as we all know, a member resigned, leaving a vacant seat that needs to be filled. So I decided to resubmit my name for consideration to serve on the St. Louis Public School Board. So for full transparency, first, my son is not currently enrolled in a St. Louis public school. It was in my decision. It was a long time ago. Me and his mother came to the decision to put him there because of convenience and where we were. I didn't know I was going to run for the school board, so just making it convenient for all of us was what the goal was, and that was why he's in Live for Life Academy now. However, my son has also been in public schools all throughout the city his entire grown-up lifespan, and I've been there with him at those schools, charter or public. I was there. So I'm highly invested in his education when it comes to my son. So, and that same dedication I have for St. Louis public schools. I'm a proud product of St. Louis. Well, I'm sorry. I'm a proud product of public schools, just not in St. Louis. I was educated abroad, where it was all about the community, all about public, and that's what I'm a product of. So, also through the Office of Violence Prevention, I've seen firsthand what our community needs. And I would like to see our schools transferred to full-service community schools.
Okay.
And when I say that, that's not just academics, but that's also high-quality nutritional school lunches that's wraparound service for the family, mentorship, and after-school programs that are free and child-centered. Most of our families in the community are single-parent homes. They could use the help. Opportunities to learn soft skills, job readiness, financial literacy. I'm a realtor, and when it comes to entrepreneurship, being self-sustainable, your own self, for a man to take care of his family is important, and that helps strengthen communities. So, and also the most important thing I say is education starts at home. So how can we tap into the homes to actually help our children, because they are suffering at an enormous fast rate, and it's ridiculous. So another issue that I feel strongly about is the health and safety of our schools and our environment. I'm a 43-year vegan, but when it comes to organic, when it comes to no pesticides, when it comes to eating healthy, when it comes to understanding that children by the age of 25, they're still developing their brain. So why even have a debate? Why even arguing about if this should be prolonged or whatever? Because
Right.
I mean, it's our children. you want your child to get the best, why not give it to everybody? It's free, it's our taxes. So ultimately, my goal as a board member is to bridge the gap for potential opportunity. Our children need that. I see a lot of our children in the community, they lack the ability to, they have great ideas, but they just lack the way to get their ideas to fruition. So through education, I'm here to help. I'm here to just lend a voice. I want to make sure that your voice is heard at the table, and at the same time, be transparent. We just want to know what's going on with our schools, so we can probably make an adjustment if need to. So thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thanks for
Tavon.
consideration.
So we have two questions. First off, what can we do to help? That's our question.
So right now, I don't know how the process goes. I don't know. I was at the Jeff Vanderloo meeting the other day where I found out about this whole seat. I was actually focused on my bed and breakfast I had in the city south side. But when I heard it was open, then I was inspired to run again. So I don't know the process, I don't know what to do, but just help me, keep me informed and just direct me on how to get it done. So I'm still learning.
Who's the decision maker? Who's the decider for putting you on the Board of Ed? Is it the Board of Ed itself?
So what I've learned is it changed now. It's the board, I think it's the board of aldermen.
Okay,
What I understand. They have this.
so we email our alder people or,
Correct.
okay. Tavon Brooks.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Thank you. We have two questions for Rika. Rika, are you back on screen?
I'm here. I've been, whoops, my camera's off. Yes, I've been trying to type madly in both the chat and I was just starting to answer questions. Before I answer the questions, and thank you for those, I do want to just quickly say something very important about and I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name, but from the Sierra Club. But what you most articulately said about the state fight against the pesticide liability shield, it was defeated in Missouri, but unfortunately, right now, this is a federal issue. And please go to our website because while Congress is shut down right now, this same language, actually, it's even worse than a lot of the state bills, has been passed by the U.S. House. And then the same version of the bill in the Senate, we were able to keep it out of that bill, but there's a reconciliation process and it's going to happen fast. So stay tuned, please sign up for alerts, but we're going to have to fight hard to stop it from quietly being passed at the federal level. And we won't be able, it will affect every state. We think that one of the best ways to try and stop it is calling U.S. Senators to help in that reconciliation process, as well as specific House members that are on that committee. So stay tuned. It has not gone away, and it is really, really alarming because if it does pass at the federal level, it is going to not just be a liability shield, as was talked about, but it's also going to freeze pesticide regulation and leave it up to the pesticide law label, and even make it hard for the EPA to change the label, even if they wanted to. I mean, it is really an important issue, so do check it out. To get back to the actual questions, which I will also write, but the first one that I see is do the Sustainable Parks program, is it free? Here's the tricky part. It is free. We get funding from folks like Natural Grocers or Stony Fields to be able to offer a city 2 years of free technical support and consultation, as well as very detailed site-specific implementation plans. But we don't have cash to hand to a city to be able to do something different. And that's why it's critical that what we do is we help, it's collaboration. So the city has to want to do it. The city staff will be still doing the work using their own budget. And that's why the design of our program is to try and roughly reallocate what they're spending now so that they can do something different. The good news is, synthetic pesticides and fertilizers are expensive. So just by eliminating those, you usually create some budget for new things that are organic and organic compatible that are simple. I don't see the second question.
The second question, Rika, is that you mentioned that New York has a more robust policy not to use pesticides, but they're still spraying for mosquitoes in violation of the policy. That was hard won by the No Spray Coalition. So what is being done to enforce it?
You know what? I serve on my own county's mosquito vector control board, and we work in a lot of coalitions. I'm not familiar, so I'm assuming we're all talking about New York City. The legislation I was talking about was New York City passed a law. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm forgetting the name. Safe and I'm gonna get it wrong, but there's a citywide policy. I will look into that. And if the person who asked the question wants to drop me an email at rika@beyondpesticides.org, we would be really happy to follow up on that, because we are working in coalitions across the country, but especially in the Northeast around mosquito spraying in particular.
Thank you, Rika. So the next question is from Maureen Dole, and I want to ask it to all three panelists. Do you all know about the Green Amendment? So I'm going to hand it to Carolyn.
I sure don't. I would love to know more.
I don't know about it either, so. Maybe Rika does.
Yeah, Rika?
I would say tell me more, because I'm not sure if I'm the context or if I'm familiar with it.
So Maureen Dole asked the question. Maureen, are you on the call? Okay. Do you have any questions in the audience, from the audience, while we're waiting for Maureen Dole to respond? Please. We can take.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there's, go ahead. Maureen, just-
Hi, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Sure can.
Okay, can you do the video, Gus?
We does a good video.
Okay, there's a book called The Green Amendment. It's not Green Party, but it's green. It's supposed to go state by state to protect our air and our soil and our water for humans and ecology, to protect us. And it's very important that we pass it state by state before it gets to federal, because federal it might die right away. But if we can get the strength of the states behind us. And I put the website on it in the chat. Okay.
Hi, my name's Gus. I'm Maureen's partner. I'm also secretary of the Green Party here in Massachusetts. And specifically, the Green Amendment concept is to take the states that have created the strongest amendments to their state constitutions that would, among other things, give the people the right to sue on behalf of nature, which in many states is not currently allowed, including our own, which is Massachusetts. Because the way our Massachusetts Constitution has, it's got what's called Article 97, which has been argued in the courts as giving the legislature the authority to sue, but not the people. And the idea is to give the people that authority, and it's sort of like a constitutional kind of legalese way of enforcing some elements of the rights of nature, although it's usually not written that way. But if we use it properly, we can get there. And it'll help us address issues like the pesticides and a variety of other things. Among the states you might want to check out that have some of the strongest current ones are Montana, Pennsylvania, and New York. For example, that's the law that the Montana cases, I think it's not Juliana. I think Juliana, and there's another related case that are young people's climate cases have been argued under that element of their constitution. So it actually does work. It's just a matter of getting it into our constitutions.
I agree with Carolyn. Fascinating. Also, do we have a comment for Digger? Thanks so much for the great puppet show, Digger. So glad it was recorded. Thank you. So are you ready for your comment? Yeah. Watch out. Use your microphone. Say your name.
I'm Erin O'Reilly from the No Spray Coalition, and I just wondered which states have adopted the shield law?
So I know Georgia, they passed it this last legislative session. Which is really funny because they passed it and then right before they passed it, they paid out $2.1 billion to somebody within the state, which is really funny. Well, funny is a funny word to use. But what else? Who else? Was it Oklahoma? I think it was 2 states.
North Dakota.
North Dakota, thank you.
Dakota.
I know it's proposed in Oklahoma. I think that they actually defeated it this past year, but yeah, 2 states have passed it, Georgia and Dakota. Thank you.
You know how many states is it pending?
That's I think 8, I believe. I'm pulling that.
More, I think, I don't remember off the top of my
More.
head, it was at least 11. I think it was more by the end of this last legislative cycle, but we only
Okay,
lost
great.
it in 2.
Thank you, I appreciate it. I see
Yeah.
one of my toxic traits is not getting my head out of Missouri. So ask me about any other thing, or state or federal, and I go, can't do it, so. Thank you.
No,
for
just
that.
want to say, Carolyn, thank you for, and the Sierra Club for being part of fighting this, because, we're out dollared by the big interests. As I know, in Missouri, you guys saw a lot of ads, as they did in Iowa too. But it really matters, and helping educate people is really important about this issue, especially when we're not just fighting state by state now, but it's sitting like a Damocles sword at the federal. So thank you.
Excellent. Sure, okay, we have another comment from an attendee. I just want to bring up the issue of overuse of indoor pesticides, specifically for roach control. I know we won't be able to get to this today, but I wanted to plant the seed of attention to this. I've been involved in this issue for a few years now, and I'm very interested in interfacing with others who are interested in working on education around prevention rather than jumping so quickly to hire pest control companies who use very toxic chemicals on an ongoing basis. Comments, thoughts?
I'm gonna pass it right to you.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's particularly a problem in apartment complexes.
Yeah.
Where the roaches just run from one place to another. So, yeah, I have a relative that I just went through this with, had his apartment sprayed for roaches. And they were horrible. They were,
Yeah.
I don't know what the answer is.
I have the answer.
Okay.
I'm a health, safety, and environmental engineer, and I work for the public health department in Nebraska. Here's the answer: don't feed them.
Right. Keep the place clean.
Keep your place clean. Do your dishes at night.
Yes.
What does?
Boric acid.
Okay, boric acid.
And you just put it, especially in the bathroom and the kitchen, like behind your counters, you don't have to have it out. They track through it and then they go back to their nest, and it doesn't kill them immediately. So they go back to their nest and then it
Kills everyone. Okay, we have, Stephanie couldn't hear. She said boric acid, Stephanie. Put them on the trails of cockroaches. And they-
But it's more thorough.
Right. So like in-laws, don't feed them.
Cannibal. Roaches are cannibals, so if they take the pork acid back to the nest, they're eaten by the other.
Good point.
Yeah.
All right, do we have any other questions or comments from the audience? We are at 7. Any other closing statements from our panelists? I'll start with Barb. Any passionate pleas?
Yeah, I want to say with the No Spray Coalition, there have been times when I'm like, oh my gosh, why do we keep doing this? But I just find that to persevere, and then this phase in my life to really get an understanding of the importance of those personal relationships with people, with the Parks Department and the other work that I do with the Department of Natural Resources, to really get to know the people in those agencies it really makes a big difference in getting your work done. So that's my closing statement.
Fantastic. I'll leave you with this. So this bill is not just about farming, right? It's about freedom of information. It's about accountability. Missourians deserve to know what is in their products when they use them, especially farmers, especially our, our consumers, our ratepayers, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, Sierra Club, we stand for transparency and science and the health of Missourians and beyond, of course. So yeah, call your legislators, call your senators, tell them what you think. Yeah.
That will be a long phone call. Rika, your last thoughts and passionate pleas?
Yeah, I just really appreciate everyone who helped make tonight possible, both people who are attending as well and will watch this recording. And I think really, as Barb said, it seems overwhelming sometimes when we talk about these issues, especially in this current environment. And it really does come down to there are things in our personal control, both, taking actions to protect yourself and your family and your local environment, but also through relationships. And whether it be with elected officials, and you might be surprised if you haven't ever tried calling an elected official before, state, local, or federal, they have passionate, usually young people as staffers whose job is there to talk to you and listen. And it does make a difference. That we can definitely say. And that is why at Beyond Pesticides, we are really oriented towards you out there. And that's how I first began working with Beyond Pesticides 10, 15 years ago as an advocate. I learned the science and the policy primarily through Beyond Pesticides. And so, come to our website, sign up for action alerts, educate yourself, and your voice does matter. And even more importantly, especially in these times, finding others to work with you in advocacy, I think is essential. I find it essential for myself, certainly. And there is power in numbers. So there's hope in action and there is power in knowledge. And I'll leave it with that and with my immense gratitude for tonight.
Okay, yes, I am Daniel Digger Romano with Blaque Berry Puppets. And yes, I was your crazy puppeteer tonight. Thanks for the comments. I just want to point out a couple things. One is that my website is again Blaque Berry Puppets, BLAQUE berrypuppets.com if you're interested in seeing the entire puppet show. There's also, I wrote featuring Carrie Neiswanger in stlouissupplement.com. It's still available online for free. That's stlouissupplement.com. And the menu will come up and you'll see something I wrote there about this issue. Yeah, kudos to the person who said something about the Yoda imitation there. Most people don't get that. And so thank you very much for tonight. I think we have one more thing we want to show you here. And if you're looking for a excuse me. If you're looking for a recording of this, we have the Greens Facebook page, which is Gateway Green Alliance / Green Party of St. Louis. And I believe the website is gateway-greens is that a .org or a .com? Gateway-greens, the website?
Yes.
It's .org. Okay, and then we also have available, you can contact us, these wonderful signs. This was designed by University High School student?
Yes, high school student. Okay. If you're in St. Louis and you don't have one of these signs in your front yard, you should get a sign in your front yard. Now, they're only $15 when you get a sign and a metal stand. Well, we can't sell anything in the library. However, in the backseat of my car, in the parking lot, if you want to give a check or cash, you can take one of these beautiful signs. Christmas is coming up, I can guarantee you that all your friends and all your relatives want a sign dumping on Monsanto, you know, for putting in their front yard, okay?
Okay. All right, thank you very much. This is the Black and Green Wednesday on a Friday. We usually will do this, so check out our website or check out the Facebook page. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll see you next month.
Great to meet you too, yes, thank you for coming, it's great to learn more.